Have you ever wondered what a strongman competition looks like at a beginner level? Last year, we started a tradition. Twice a year, I would host a strongman competition, once every spring and once every summer. This competition seeks to make the participants fight, not just to win the events against each other, but to win against all the voices in your head that may tell you that something is impossible, or that you can't do it, or that you're not good enough, or that you can't keep going. Because strongman is about being strong, not winning events. This is my fourth competition, and I have finally gathered enough footage to create a recap. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy as I show you what a strongman competition at a beginner level can look like. Welcome to Peacevalley Summer Strongman Championship 2024. Here are the athletes. We have the defending champion, Kian, seeking to be the first ever repeat champion. The only man to have participated in every Peacevalley so far, but never having won. Beer, the bronze medalist of the first ever Peacevalley competition, making his comeback. Alexander, the fourth place finisher of the last Peacevalley, looking to improve his performance. Son, the newcomer, Nikolai, who has fought his way back from injury in an attempt to make an impressive debut at his first ever Peacevalley. And lastly, the newcomer Simon, who after having trained for only half a year seeks to shatter his limits in his first ever Peacevalley. These 6 athletes will be competing in 5 gruesome events. The max deadlift, tire flip for reps, max axle press, arm over arm, and lastly, death by sandbag. I am your judge, Martin Christensen, and I threw in a mystery event to decide the order that the athletes will be going in on the deadlift. Whoever holds the 10 kg plate the longest in a front hold gets to go last. Right off the bat, we see Kian and Per drop the weight, trying to save as much power early on as possible. A few seconds later, Søren drops his, followed by Nikolai, who thinks he has got the position in the order he wants. The fight continues as a 2-man battle between Alexander and Simon. Alexander drops it and Simon gets to go last. The deadlift starts at 120 kilograms and goes up in weight every round until one man stands victorious. All 6 athletes managed to get the opening weight of 120 kg. And here Alexander decided to bow out, knowing this isn't his strongest event and wanting to save energy for what's to come. The fight continues. Søren manages a 150 kg lift and unfortunately fails 160. Simon takes home a big PR and gets the 160, but 170 showed itself to be too much for the newcomer. The weight increases to 180 kilograms, where the event has become a 3-man battle for first. Kian is up at the 180 kg deadlift bar and he lifts it. Next up is Per on the 180 trying to match his own personal best. And he gets it. Also with more in the tank. Nikolai is up next. He straps himself in. And an easy lift for the newcomer. The next weight jump is to 185. Kian and Nikolai have decided to skip this weight as Per straps in to set an all-time PR. And he gets it! He's very happy with that one. Onto the 190 kg deadlift attempt. Kian is up first. Gets himself ready. And he pulls an astonishing 190 kg. Now it's Nikolai's turn to match Kian. He gets ready. Boom! Another easy lift for Nikolai. Now Kian has decided to bow out, not attempting any higher weights. This means that Nikolai just needs this one lift of 195 to win his first ever event. And he does it! Nikolai takes the win on the deadlift. After an intense battle on the deadlift, here are the scores after the first event. But it is far from over, because we have 4 more hardcore events to see before we can crown anyone the champion. Next up, the tire flip. In this event, the athletes each have 60 seconds to get as many reps on the tire flip as possible. This monstrosity weighs around 200 kilograms and is very hard to handle. First up is Alexander, who manages 1 rep before he sees himself defeated by the heavy implement. Søren is up next and unfortunately doesn't get a single rep. So far, the tire flip shows itself as a difficult task for the competitors. Next up is Simon, who shifts into a whole new gear. And by going absolutely beast mode, he manages 3 reps before the tires claim another athlete. Next up is Per, who makes easy work of the first rep and grinds his way through 3 more, leaving him at 4 reps and currently in the lead. Now it's Kian's turn, and just like Per, he flies through the reps, getting 4 just in time to attempt a 5th flip. But unfortunately just misses out on the time with 1 second. This leaves Per and Kian tied on 4, with Nikolai going in on his attempt. He finds his own technique and flips the tires for 1 rep, 2 reps, three reps, 4 reps before he calls it a day. This leaves 3 men tied for first on this event. Let's see what the overall standings look like now. The next tough event that the athletes have to conquer is the max axle press. In this event, each athlete is given 3 attempts to lift the heaviest possible weight overhead. Here's a list of each athlete's opening weight that they have chosen. And as you can see, Ian has decided to go very heavy for his opener. Can anyone get to that weight? Let's find out as we kick the event off with Simon on his 55 kg attempt. He gets it without too much trouble. Next up is Søren with 60 kg. Unfortunately, he has a slight fumble due to the axle hitting his belt. Can he recover? Yes, he can. A good lift on 60 kg. Alexander is up on 60 as well. And he gets it. Easy lift. Now it's Simon's second attempt. He has decided to go for the 60 kg as well. And he gets it. Next is 62.5 kg for Nikolai. And he gets an easy lift. Now we see the second to last opener, Per with 65 kilograms. He uses a very explosive power clean technique and gets an easy lift of the 65 kg axle. Next is Søren, also attempting 65, this time without the belt that nearly cost him his first attempt. And this time it's a much cleaner lift. Simon goes in for his third and final attempt, also at 65 kilograms. And boom, a new PR for the newcomer. What a great end to his axle event. Next is Nikolai with his second attempt, now raised to 67.5 kilograms. He gets another comfortable lift. The weight now increases to 70 kilograms as Alexander steps up as the first man to try this weight. He doesn't quite get it up in one fluid motion. He fights it and gets it up. He looks very uncomfortable but keeps going. The first push misses. And the second one too. Unfortunately, Alexander calls it here, not wanting to go for his third attempt. Can Søren be the man to beat the 70 kg axle here on his final attempt? He lifts it, he gets it up, and up to his head. And he gets it. What a grind from Søren. Doesn't want to give up. And now just 3 men remain as Per goes for his second attempt at 72.5. He gets it up with beautiful form and makes easy work of this weight. Also 72.5 kg we have Nikolai with his final attempt. This is to match Per. Can he do it? He does it. A good performance from the newcomer. Also finishes with a PR. Now for his final attempt, Per with 75 kilograms. This is to put himself ahead of Nikolai. Can he do it? It's an easy clean. And boom, an easy lift for Per, who breaks his PR with ease. Lastly, we have Kian, who has decided to open at 80 kilograms, an insane feat to beat everyone else's final lifts just with pure opener. What a dominant result this would be. And in the most dominating performance so far, Kian absolutely smashes the max axle press event, only needing his opening lift. Now, over halfway into the competition, the tides have turned as we see a new man take the overall lead. These are the results after the third event. Next up, let's take a 3.5 ton auto camber and see who can make it go fastest. It's the arm over arm. In this event, the athletes will be pulling this heavy vehicle to the finish line as fast as possible. Quickest time wins. Let's go. First up is Alexander, who sets the mark to beat. (16.70 seconds). Next athlete is Simon on his attempt. He gets it just a bit slower at 17.51. Third man up is Søren. He finishes just outside of Simon's time with a time of 17.71. Nikolai is up, and he needs some good points on this event to reclaim his lead. Nikolai finishes with a new best time, 15.27, setting a new mark to beat. Now it's Per's turn to see what he can do. And with the smallest margin ever in Peacevalley history, Per beats Nikolai with a time of 15.24 seconds, just 3/100ths of a second faster, taking the lead so far in this event. Last man up is Kian, the man currently in the lead. This is really the opportunity to get ahead of the competition. And Kian absolutely smokes the event in a time of 10.75 seconds. Kian takes yet another victory, putting himself in a very favorable position going into the last event. Here are the overall standings, and as you can see, Kian has pulled slightly ahead of his competitors, with Per and Nikolai both tied on 19 points. Going into the final event of the competition. It's any man's game as the athletes take on their ultimate challenge of the day, death by sandbag. The final event seeks to test the athletes' strength, endurance and willpower. It is a pure test of who wants it the most and who is willing to go beyond all limits to get the furthest. The athletes each have 2 minutes to get the 80 kg sandbag as far as possible, with a twist. Every time you get to the end, you gotta get the bag over the 120 centimeter bar. First up is Søren, who is currently placed last overall. He gets 1 rep over the bar before he continues. After getting back to the starting position, Søren keeps fighting. And after thinking he can't get it any further, he gathers all his willpower and goes for one last all-out effort of the day. He gets the second rep and finishes here. Next up is Alexander. He absolutely smokes this event, getting not just 1 or 2 but 3 reps on the bar and almost gets the bag all the way back to the end. This impressive performance sets a difficult mark for the rest of the competitors to beat. Simon grabs the bag and gets going. He manages 2 whole reps. And with a lot of determination, he gets it all the way back to the starting position, placing himself between Alexander and Søren so far. Nikolai is up next. He needs to go all out on this event to win. He's currently tied for second with Per. Whoever of those two finishes above the other is guaranteed at least a second place overall. Unfortunately for the big man, he finds himself beaten by the back after a little more than 1 rep. Will this be enough to beat the next man up? Per. He just needs to beat Nikolai's distance of a little more than 1 rep. If he can get a rep and walk back to the starting position, he is guaranteed at least second overall. And he gets it. What more can Per do? Can he do enough to win it all? He finishes with 3 reps and puts himself in a good position in this event, only behind Alexander so far. Last man of the day. Kian on his final performance, the one to end it all. He just needs 2 reps on the bar to win. Kian flies through the first rep. And he does it! Kian gets the 2 reps and continues. He gets a 3rd rep and keeps going, beating Per and finishing only behind Alexander, who wins this event. But that does not matter for this man, who wins overall and can take home his 2nd ever Peacevalley victory. That brings the overall standings to an interesting conclusion. After Alexander's incredible performance on the Sandbag, he puts himself right up with Simon, both tied on 13 points. And in Peacevalley tradition, we always have a tiebreaker event, ready to decide the tie. So before we crown our champion, let's see who will be crowned 4th as we continue with head-to-head farmer hold with 40 kg in each hand. Whoever stands the longest wins. The athletes are feeling immense pain as they push themselves to the absolute limit. And Alexander wins the tiebreaker, putting him in 4th overall. So this concludes it. This is what a strongman competition at a beginner level can look like. It's been a hard battle, but a battle between friends, all trying to improve and become better. Everyone has shattered their own expectations of what they would be capable of. And that's what the Peacevalley can do. That's what Strongman can do. It demands you to find the strength inside. And that was done here today. And if we are good, we can do that every day. Now, let's crown our competitors. In 6th place with 8 points, we have Søren. And in 5th place with 13 points after an intense tiebreaker event, Simon. In 4th place, also with 13 points, winning the tiebreaker, Alexander. And now, for our bronze medalist, with 20 points, making an impressive performance in his first ever competition, Nikolai. And to the man who's been here from the beginning, in second place, with 23 points, Pierre. And now, for the first time in Peacevalley history, I present to you our first ever repeat champion. In first place with 27 points, Kian. I'm Martin Christensen, and this has been Peacevalley Summer Strongman Championship 2024.